This is my bookshelf. There's not a whole lot of books here, but the books that are here, well, there's not that many. Now, what's so important about all these books behind me in this bookshelf? Well, let me tell you what is important about them. See, not only are books good for reading, but books, thick ones like this, can be used for protection. For example, let's say this poor Enderman is getting attacked. And I mean like violently attacked. Well, with the insane power of one of these thick books, it's pretty easy to just, well, kind of miss. I mean, it didn't hit him, the book hit him, but you get the point. And so yes, this book might kind of protect the Enderman, but that was a simple illustration. Let's say I have a whole armor made of these books. You might try to attack me and this thing ain't gonna budge. This isn't breaking. You're not piercing through this. However, if you simply just open the book, it is a lot weaker and thinner when you open it. So how do you solve that problem? Simple. You just make an unopenable book. And the best way to do that is by looking at the book and just duplicating it on this side. So you can't open this side of the book. It's very hard to. But this side's super easy. So if we just make the cover right here, it'd be an unopenable book. It'd be very good armor. But that's a lot of work, and there's a super simple way of doing it without overcomplicating anything. Taking two books and merging them together. Like this, it's very, resistant, but it comes apart very easily. And so what you want to do is make it so it's impossible to break apart, possible to pull apart, more impossible to pull apart than like this door. That door could easily be broken, but if you overlap every single page of these huge, thick, nearly 600-page book, due to friction, you won't be able to pull it apart. And due to bending and flexibility, you won't be able to break it. And so in reality, it'll be the most unbreakable armor you could ever imagine. And so with the power of these two combined and the unopenable ability, you'll have thicker armor and less penetrable armor because they'll be stuck together. Now, the first step in doing that is taking these books and overlapping them and putting the myth to the test, just like MythBusters. Overlapping every single page of these books. Is it truly impossible to tear apart? Let's find out. And now, we slowly but surely overlap every single page of this book. And this is the finished product. The pages are uneven numbers, so the covers of this aren't going to align. But I'm kind of hoping to adjust this a little bit, maybe get the pages up further. Let me see what I can do. Okay, this is the best I could do, and also let's test the strength now. I'm excited. Let's see what happens when I just grab these and just... Okay, it's coming apart slowly. I mean, but other than that, if you like tape it together, it stays together. Hold up. So I didn't have any tape, but I did have some like comically accurate rope. I don't know what comically accurate means in this situation, but it holds it together, at least the covers, and it prevents any pulling apart. Like this thing is insane. Like this is not coming apart at all. Why won't it come apart, you might ask? All right, nerds, it's time to learn some science. Why doesn't this book pull apart? What is wrong with this book? Why won't it pull apart? Well, let me tell you something called friction. So imagine this is a page of the book, all right? It's a pretty fancy looking page. This is book number 1. Now imagine book number 2 over here also has a page. They're stuck together. You tried sliding them apart. It's gonna come apart pretty easily. What happens when you add another one? Well, imagine these pages as wood. Try to pull the wood apart, all right? I mean, it probably would be pretty easy, but eventually, as more wood is stacked on top of each other, after maybe about 6 planks of wood, it'd be pretty kind of heavy. You could pull it apart, but it'd be a lot harder. This is called friction. As the things are rubbing against each other, it's harder and harder to pull apart. More of them are stacked on top of each other due to the gravity and weight pushing down on it, as well as the friction. So imagine like 600 pages of paper just all combined, intertwined, and also with like weight. Imagine putting your fingers together like this, pushing down and trying to pull them apart. Once you let go, it's easy. But with the weight and the friction, it's a lot harder to pull these things apart. That, my friends, was my horrible explanation of friction. Also, this book is really slippery, so now that I've shown you guys the immense power and science behind this thing, it's time to put this to so many tests that will prove its indestructibility to be used as a pure armor. I mean, look at that. The rope came off, that's about it. I gotta fix that actually. So first test is kind of just the usual test. Let's drop it. And honestly, this thing is just a beast. Look at this. It just doesn't come apart. Oh, guys, you gotta check out this cool like pattern thing I found. Like, you can make it like fade into itself. Like, look at that. It's kind of like fading into it because I'm like pushing some of the pages down, kind of damaging it, but like it fades into it. That's a really weird effect. Kind of dumb, but cool. Okay, I have secured it for the 1700th time. This rope is not going anywhere, hopefully. So it fails nothing. It succeeds the force test, I guess. But what other tests am I supposed to do with this thing? What else am I supposed to do besides just try to pull it apart myself? I don't think this thing is budging. Now, in MythBusters did an episode like this, except instead of those like textbooks, they were phone books, which are all completely paper. And so those are probably harder, but also probably easier. I don't know. I don't know if the hardcover makes it harder or easier to pull apart, but they definitely had a lot more pages. But one thing they did do that I can't do is they got like tanks with chains on them pulling this thing apart. I don't have that. And so I think the real thing is just showing this to my friends and trying to get them to pull it apart and see how well they can do it. And if they can pull this apart, that's pretty impressive. I'm going to be impressed. This thing will become the ultimate combat armor. Trust me. So I got these things stuck together and I wondered if you guys could help me pull them apart.
No, you didn't. Why'd you ruin your books?
They're not ruined, they're just overlapped. I want you guys to try to pull it apart.
Grab one.
Try it.
I don't want to pull it apart. Now, if you take the ropes off, you can easily pull it apart. I know, but we're doing it for the challenge. Oh, fun. Oh my gosh, I can't pull it apart. I feel like you're gonna rip your books.
I don't care.
Well, I do. These are valuable. That book cost like $100.
No, it didn't.
I guarantee.
It's just a hardcover book. Without the cover, I mean, it's not
Look it
that.
up. I guarantee that book's like $100.
That is not $100.
It's not that it's impossible, it's that it takes a force that is impossible with actual heavy machinery.
Until you take the rope off. Take the rope off.
Okay. Oh my gosh! That's wild!
I felt it move.
Like I said, it's not.
Hey, why are you grabbing it there? You're just squeezing it. Cheater. You gotta grab it here.
I told you it was gonna rip!
Why does it look like you took your teeth and
I didn't. I think that was Brian's fingernails.
You know the easiest way to get rid of it is to separate them by pushing them in further.
I don't think that's the correct way.
I don't think that's epic.
It's still together.
Watch.
If you did this.
This is taking so long, Brian. Call me a jester because I'm joking. And now you have one damaged book.
It's not damaged.
Hardcover is $50.
That's not $100.
That's pretty close.
That's half the
I
price.
said $50. I said there's only $100.
You said $100 books.
Yeah. One.
As in each is $100. So I think that went really well. So while they were out like preaching the gospel of Jesus or something, I was back here making butter deodorant and also impossible to pull apart books. They essentially had to just peel every single one of them away after a while. So they did what I said. You open the book and you peel every page apart. That's the only way to break it. You can't pull it, okay? Anyways, thank you for watching this epic experiment. Hope you enjoyed the math and the physics and the science. Make sure to like the video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one on my channel. Bye. My books are like slightly bent. I can't tell, but there's definitely something wrong with them now.